Welcome back to Smashing Heads Podcast. This is episode... Is it 45?
It's 45?
I thought so. We're a little out of sync because we've recorded some episodes that are going to release out of order. But my name is Zach, and tonight's different. Typically, I introduce my wife next.
But I'm the next best thing here.
True. We are doing a boys' night tonight, and it's been a while.
It is a boys' night.
You know, let's get into, this is my best friend, Jake.
How's everybody doing tonight? I feel so wild when that metal breakdown hits.
You know, I wouldn't call him metal, but I don't want to argue semantics on that.
You're right. It's probably just emo.
Yeah, good one. Again, we
excuse me, emo core.
Yeah, we started this a long time ago. Whenever Hannah couldn't make it for some reason, I don't know. She's sick tonight, so she's not feeling well. We do have her notes, so we're going to hit, and she's got a lot of notes, but we're going to hit at the end of the show all of her thoughts from the episode in chronological order.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be me and Jake flowing through this one. By the way, if you're not joining our Instagram lives when we get on Wednesday nights,
what the heck are you doing?
You don't know what you're missing because, one, we had one of our longtime followers, Justin John William Jr. Clark Burgess.
There's a Joseph in there somewhere in there.
He jumped on with us and talked for a minute. I don't know. He jumped on and talked with us for a minute. But then Brandon Nelson jumped in. Again, from Fresh Meat 2, Free Agent, Rivals 1, Battle of the Seasons, Cutthroat. He jumped on. We talked with him for about probably 15, 20 minutes, and he was really awesome. He's got some big things planned that he actually talked with us about in our interview with him, which was so long ago.
Long time ago.
It's crazy because he was the first interview we did. He was episode 5.5. That's how long ago it was. And he had a baby that was almost on the...
it was on the way.
Yeah, it was out in the way. It wasn't out in the world.
It was out in the way.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, and...
that's how we should announce pregnancies now. Okay. Our baby is out in the way.
Well, I don't have anything to announce on that front, but his baby is almost 8 months old now, which is crazy. He showed us the video of her while we were on Instagram Live, and that just seems wild to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it was that long ago. I mean, we've talked to him a little bit through some messaging and stuff. I sent him a documentary recommendation about this black guy who befriends all these members of the KKK, and he's like, "You can't hate me if you don't even know me." It's a really cool documentary, by the way.
Man, I thought you would have sent him that one on Netflix about the.
It is on Netflix.
The girl that gets abducted twice somehow.
I haven't watched that one.
What's it called? Because it's wild.
Is it Vanished in Plain Sight?
I think so. Man, it's bizarre.
Either that or that's like an Olsen twin movie or something.
No, that's not. They had
Escape to Witch Mountain.
They had some underrated movies. The Olsen twins did.
Yeah, I'm not hating on it.
It Takes Two, one of my favorites. That's probably their best.
That was like their big cinematic movie.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I think that came out in theaters. I think most of their stuff was direct to video.
Yeah.
But we're not an Olsen twin podcast.
We're not.
I mean, I don't even know how we would talk about Full House a lot.
Do we?
No, we would if we were an Olsen twin podcast. I mean, that's a pretty big part of their life.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
Have you watched It Takes Two lately?
I haven't. Probably not since the 90s.
We should watch that soon.
Okay.
And do a breakdown on it.
Sounds like a great thing for us to do. I wish this girl would stop texting you while we're on Instagram.
What?
We're using Jake's phone to be on Instagram. We usually use my iPad, and this girl keeps texting him, and it's just bothering me.
That's okay. It's okay.
By the way,
let it happen.
By the way, before we get into tonight's episode, if you haven't listened to our Pauly interview, I would say, what are you doing? But I think he's a polarizing enough figure that some people are like, I'm not even going near it. What I will say to that is, obviously, if you've listened to this show before, I've been very vocal about my opinions on Pauly, on their situation, on the things he's done. And I can just tell you, after sitting down and talking with him, I would be glad to have him back on to talk again because it's very interesting to hear his side of things. And I think this is probably one of the most subdued, if I can use that word, appearances that I've seen of him. Because we weren't looking to fight. We weren't looking. We just wanted to talk.
And we did just that. And it was a shame we didn't get more time with him. We talked about a lot, but it was a shame we wouldn't have more time because there was still a lot we didn't get to. But
there's a lot. Yeah, he had a time frame. Like, he had to be out of there.
It was date night.
Him and Cara had a date night with another couple.
Who are we? Who are we to interrupt Paulie and Cara's date night?
We were interrupting.
No, but who are we to keep them from a date night?
No, and
I'm not going to be the guy to ask for that.
And we didn't want to, but we did have more things we could definitely talk with him about.
And we will.
And, again, if you're apprehensive about listening to it, I will say I asked him before we started recording, because I ask everyone this before we start recording. I was going to give him the same courtesy I give everyone else. Hey, is there anything off limits? Is there anything you don't want us to talk about on air? Because if someone says there's something they don't want us to talk about, I'm not going to bring it up, because we're not trying to like catch them in anything. And he's like, you know what? I've made so many mistakes. I've owned up to everything that I can, and I'm open to talk about whatever you guys want. And so I'll give him credit on that for sure. I'll go to bat for him being a really like upfront. He was cool to talk about whatever, and we didn't get into some personal things because that's what we just wanted to have fun. And so again, I think a lot of you would be surprised by that interview if you felt one way or another about Paulie, because we've had a lot of people reach out and say, I don't enjoy him on the show, but I liked listening to him on this episode. So
I think we're friends now. Matter of fact,
me and you?
No. We've been friends, but I think he is in the running for my new best friend.
Oh, great. You're going to be the Lion Mentality co-host.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare disparage the Lions mentality. You know nothing of the Lions mentality.
Well, real quick, just so everyone's on the same page as us, we did interview Frank Sweeney yesterday.
What a guy.
Awesome interview.
Not only is he handsome.
He is, and I confessed it to him.
Well, my thought wasn't finished.
Well, that's all you needed to say.
Just that he's handsome. Yeah. But not only is he handsome, man, is he accomplished. What a guy.
Very goal-driven.
Yeah.
And, again, it was really cool to sit down with him because he's one of the guys that kind of disappeared off social media. He's not super active on there, but we talked to him for right under an hour, and he had some places he had to go. But quality over quantity is always the way to go, and that interview is going to be really cool. But just so everyone's on the same page, tonight is... I have to look at my phone because I'm very bad about dates. Tonight is May 8th, and so we are recording our Redemption House podcast, which if you don't know what our Redemption House podcast is, it's our Patreon exclusive podcast.
Yeah.
And we're interviewing one of our patrons for a separate thing, but also we're bringing on Logan from the Hedrick Files. I can never pronounce it.
It's unbelievable.
He's also the Rotten Banana podcast is his challenge related podcast. He's going to come on with us. Hannah will be here, and we're going to do a fantasy draft of challenge cast members. And then when we're done, we're all going to compile our teams, put them up on Patreon, put them on Twitter, Instagram, and have you guys vote on who had the best team. And I think it's just going to be a fun way to look at everything because we'll get his side of things. If you want another challenge podcast, he's another guy to check out for sure. So he's going to come on with us. Again, that's only going to be on Patreon, though. So, again, check that out, patreon.com/smashingheadspodcast. And so that'll come out this weekend, probably the 11th. And then we'll do a recap next Wednesday like planned, which should be the finale, as far as we know, of this season. And then the Frank interview will drop that weekend. It'll drop for the patrons Sunday the 19th, and then it'll go wide on the 20th for everyone else. And we're doing that for a couple reasons. One, we want to space out everything, but two, Hannah and I are going on vacation, and so we're going to kind of be out of pocket the 19th through the 24th. And so our recap of the reunion may be a couple days late, but we have something pretty cool planned for the reunion recaps. We're not going to spoil anything.
No, though I semi-did on the IG
Yeah,
Live.
so we don't know what happened in the finale, but what we're saying by spoil is we're not going to announce yet what's happening, but we do have a guest planned who we are going to interview, and then the plan is, if everything works out, is that because Jake already let that out of the bag, she is going to come on and watch the reunions and then recap those with us. And so we'll announce that once we get closer to the date, and we can kind of just make sure everyone's schedule lines up correctly.
Yeah.
But it's going to be something fun we've never done. We've never had a guest from the show come on and review the show with us. So I'm excited about it.
And our IG Live ended.
You know, that's fine because I was just about to transition into the show for tonight. So
Perfect
timing.
Perfect timing for a boys' night.
You know, it always is.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Can you hand me my phone?
Yeah, I can do that. This episode. So we lead off with the cliffhanger from last week, which is
Do you want me to share this?
yeah, share that. Dee and Davon are going head to head in an elimination called Tug O' War,
Which was very misleading.
It was. We can get into that in a second. The main thing I had was Dee in her little interview just said, "I'm going to absolutely destroy her."
Which I think was the
Quote.
assumption.
That's a quote.
Even if you went back to the end of last week's episode, even Davon was ready to be destroyed because I don't remember exactly what she said, but she was like, "This is not suited for me."
So if this was a traditional like tug of war, Dee is a lot of like they're Team Quad Squad. Like,
that's right.
She's got a lot of leg mass, like a lot of muscle there, and like low center of gravity.
Mm-hmm.
Davon looks a little taller, a little like not thinner, but she's just like Dee is built like she's strong. That's when I see Dee, I was like, oh, she could fight you.
But the one thing that I point out anytime with Davon,
Yeah.
that she has that Dee doesn't.
Asthma.
Boy, I thought you were stopping short.
Yeah.
No. Mom strength.
I know.
She's a mom.
I mean,
and that's a real thing.
It is, but again, this to me, this elimination, they said it's a tug of war. It was in the like most broad sense, but like basically it's an endurance thing. Like you have to pull like however many feet of rope, and then it's just once you get that done, like they're on a little platform. It's what, like 2 feet by 2 feet. It's not very big.
No.
And so it's just if you get your rope done first, then you just pull. Another person's going to lose their balance because they're elevated probably what 3 or 4 feet in the air, and so it's not like you can like dig your heels in and it's going to be like a real tug of war like what we're used to and like that. Like going back to one of the first and maybe the first daily from this season where they did the tug of war between the cars. Like that was a tug of war. You know what I'm talking about? Where like Bear wrapped it around his throat.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Like that was an actual tug of war. And so on that one, you know, we interviewed Dee right after that one. She said she beat Morgan. And so Dee, I think, would have had an advantage on that. But, you know, shout out to Davon because she beat her. Like, at one point, they showed him, and it looked like with maybe, like, 3 coils left, they were, like, neck and neck.
Davon is one of those to this point who I think at some point we have to start saying that, like, she's a really good competitor, man. Like, because she keeps being put in these positions where you just kind of expect, like, she's not going to be the one to come out. And then she does.
She has done very well so far. I still think just based on whatever that elimination was in the junkyard a couple weeks ago when she was paired with Wes, although they ended up being in the tribunal, she's not built for a final. I mean, we know now the final's 50 miles long. She's got asthma.
Yeah, you partnered that with asthma. It's not a...
Yeah.
Was that you?
Is it me?
It's not me.
It is. That's my fault. I pulled
God.
my phone up. It's Hannah actually that texted me.
Is she okay? Is everything all right?
Yeah, she's good.
Do you need to go upstairs?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Again, she's sick, so she's not feeling well. But yeah, asthma in a 50-mile final in desert does not go well.
No, and so you know, watching this, I'm watching Dee start off with this rope, right? And initially, like, she's like hunched over.
Yeah.
Whereas Davon's more in like a squat position, which in my head, being a guy who exercises regularly, in my head, to be in a squat position is a much better position to be in with this particular competition, because if you're hunched over like Dee is, like, man, your back's going to give pretty fast.
Yeah. It was, and I think Turbo was like trying to tell Dee like, hey, bend your knee. I mean, tell Davon bend your knees.
Yeah.
Yeah, your back will give out on you, and your forearms, they're going to be gone, man. Well, and we'll see that a little bit later in another challenge.
Yeah.
But like this was more than anything. It was not strength necessarily. It was endurance, and you gotta give credit where credit due. It's due.
Where credit due.
Where credit due.
Credit does due.
Yeah, Davon, she won. I mean, she did.
Well, how did you feel about as they were walking out? Did you like Kara's jacket? Did you see it?
I've already seen that. She's worn that a
Do
couple
you like
times.
that?
I'm not gonna make.
It's a serious
comment on
question. You don't like that jacket?
it. I don't. Because never mind. I'm not gonna get into it. I don't want to.
You wouldn't wear it.
No.
I would wear it.
Yeah, you
But
would. You would. Because it's associated with Polly.
All right. Now you're pushing it. Now you're being inappropriate. Are you okay? Are you taking NyQuil?
It's not NyQuil, but it is sleep pills because it's midnight here and I have to get up for work in the morning.
You do. I do. I'm the one that has to get
we
up.
both do. Don't say it like mine doesn't count.
What time are you getting up?
It doesn't matter.
It does. Do you want to know what time I get up?
I know what time you get up. We talked about it. Listen, these Wednesday nights are not great for us.
They're not. They're this has been, I tell you what, man, we love doing this. These Wednesday nights.
They're rough. Thursdays
are rough.
The Thursdays are rough at work.
I mean, because at my job, I sit at a computer all day.
I do too.
And it is, you partner that with no sleep.
And I don't drink coffee.
It is unbearable.
Yeah, like you start to like catch yourself.
Like 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
I'm struggling.
Yeah.
I have to get up.
But we do it for the people listening.
Oh, yeah. No, you're not going to hear any complaints over here because we
Maybe
love doing
a
this.
little bit like what we just did. But, yeah, again, when this season started, we talked about we'll give it 2 weeks and we'll see how it goes. And then
we did it.
We just kept going with it.
We just did it.
Because we like getting them up the night of.
Yeah.
I can sacrifice some sleep to get this up. It's one night a week. I'm a night owl anyway. But, we love doing it. If you're listening and you are some sort of person that works at MTV, because apparently they do listen to some of these.
Hey, shout out to you guys.
Let us get screeners. You know how much easier it would be if we could get screeners like some of these blog writers get, to where we can watch like a day early. Obviously, we're spoiler free, so we wouldn't ruin it for anyone. We could watch it, record the podcast at a normal hour, and then as soon as the episode premieres, our podcast is
It's
ready.
just up. It's ready to go.
That sounds amazing for everyone involved.
That would be sublime.
We need to reach out to all of our celebrity friends from the show and say, who do we need to talk to? I mean, we know these people now. We've got a bunch of them's phone numbers.
We know quite a few, yeah.
I mean, who do we need to talk to?
Wes.
He might be the one.
He might be the one.
Yeah, he's definitely got the longest tenure.
Well, he's Beta Blocks too.
Yeah,
He is Beta Blocks.
Betabox.com with an X.
Yeah.
And yeah, it would be so much better for everyone involved. And we would even wait till after the West Coast premiere to drop our podcast, just so we're not ruining it for anybody.
Yeah, man. I mean,
We'll play by the rules.
We're respectful over here.
Yeah.
We're respectful of everyone's schedule, their time, their sleep patterns, everything.
Yeah, please, MTV, be respectful of ours.
We know you're listening.
Yeah.
Paulie listened.
Nah, we found out he really didn't as much as what we thought.
But he listened enough to know that you guys are not the fans.
Well, here's the thing. My honest opinion, because he said, I didn't want to listen and I haven't listened. Because that's like, how long have you been a fan of our show?
So you think he caught wind?
I think people, the crazy stands of the challenge world, are like,
smashing heads, idiot.
Can you believe what they're
Those
saying?
guys.
Because that happens to, we know that 100%.
Yeah.
From just talking with people on the show. People send them every bit of negative thing about them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, especially with Kara's group, which again, I don't even... like, I mean, it's so prevalent at this point that like we know that they're going to say things even if we don't even say anything inflammatory. Who cares?
Well, just to specify, he didn't break wind. He caught wind.
Yeah, great. That's a great break right there.
That's what happened.
I'm just assuming someone's been like DMing them or messaging them because that happens.
And we know they read that stuff.
Yeah.
At least one half does.
Yes.
And that's not a shot. That's just a fact.
Yeah, it's fact.
We know that
Yeah.
one of them, at least, reads that stuff.
Yeah. And So again, anyone who's listening who's come on the interview with us, get in touch with us so we can know who to reach out to at MTV, because man, it would make our life easier.
God, and you'd be a saint for it.
Woo-wee. So we got a final 10.
Well, let me just address this real quick, because speaking of Pauly and Cara,
Okay, we weren't, but
we
were, but I tried to transition out of it.
well, there was a little segment here,
Uh-huh.
all right, where they're at the little dinner table.
Foreshadowing.
Where we got some foreshadowing happening.
Yeah.
But Cara states that it's so nice to have met another person just like her. And then we don't know what the editing process looks like.
Yeah.
But she states that Pauly is sexy and different, which if you pair that with her previous statement,
Which is what they were showing it to be.
she also called herself sexy and different, which, hey man, be confident in yourself. I'm not going to beat that up. What?
Great.
No, look, listen. It's the weirdest thing. I have come around on this relationship. Being a guy, let me just.
So I'll say their relationship is real.
It's very real.
Yes,
very real.
I'm 100% on board with
because there was so much of this, like.
that. I think just real quick, I think the last thing I said to Pauly when we weren't recording anymore, I said, go have fun at Applebee's and be weird.
Yeah.
And I mean, because we know that's what they're doing.
Yeah. Because for me, from my vantage point, a guy who has had not the best luck over the past few months in his dating life, it's a running thing on here. I'm not ashamed to talk about it. I'm transparent. I'm an open book. You know, they are clearly happy with one another.
I agree.
They clearly enjoy each other's company, and when they look into one another's eyes, there's no confusion. There's no wondering.
Wes said the same thing when
Yeah.
we interviewed him. Because at that point, we all were like, and you included, like, oh, I think she still has feelings for Kyle.
I did.
Yeah.
I legitimately thought that.
And Wes shut that down. He's like, no, they're really happy together. They're just weird.
Yeah.
And they are. I mean, and I think they are the ones that are like, oh yeah, we're the weird couple. I'm not using that in a derogatory sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just other things about it. I will say, like you said, the relationship side. I've come around to that. Who cares? Be with who you want to be happy with. Fine. There's just other things that bug me about certain people.
Well, you're not going to hear any more Para slander.
Is that
the combination? Is that the right?
Collie?
Collie? Para Collie?
I don't know.
You're not going to hear any more slander from me. You're not.
Okay.
It's not happening.
I'm not going to force it out of you.
I think it's a beautiful
relationship. I'm
relationship.
not going to get into that far. I do think they're happy, though.
Somebody's going to be real angry with me for saying that.
At this point, who cares? I mean, we've probably...
But I could also say they suck and that's the worst relationship ever, and someone's still going to be really upset with me.
Well, I mean, like with them, it's like no matter what you say, 50% of the people are going to be mad at you.
Amen.
Yeah, thanks. So we're in the final 10, which that's a big number still. We knew going into this episode it was going to be a purge day. By the way, my fault. Last week,
What'd you do?
we should have named the episode title "In the Airplane Over the Sea."
Yeah, you talked about this tonight. Not in...
So me and your brother really liked this band back when I was in high school, Neutral Milk Hotel.
Which I'm not a fan of.
Their best album was called "In the Aeroplane Over the Sea," but that's exactly what happened last week.
How many people do you think would have caught that reference?
Neutral Milk Hotel is a pretty big band. Well, I didn't think anybody would pick up less than we talked about Pillar and stuff like that. We've had like 10 people like, oh, I know Pillar.
Hey, shout out to Pillar.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
So we see a real quick glimpse of Maddie talking. I think it was with Ninja. She's just talking about after Party Down South, she was in like a real, or even during Party Down South. Davon. Okay.
Yep.
She said she was in a really dark place.
Yeah.
And we haven't watched that show, so I know that it seemed like she got in fights and was like pretty drunk most of the time, which we haven't seen that from her.
No.
And I don't know if that's a conscious choice, kind of like what Pauly talked with us about, how he knows his own personal demons, so he doesn't drink or try to exacerbate them in that way. But I thought that was an interesting like little glimpse that we haven't seen. Maddie seems like a really sweet person.
Yeah.
Again, I don't remember if we talked about it on the Instagram Live or if we talked about it at the top of the show. I think it was on Instagram. But Maddie's last week, she's trying to solve the puzzle in the airplane. D's about to jump out. It benefits Maddie for D not to jump out. Like, just because then Maddie could go out and whatever. She's cheering D on. She's like, hey, you can conquer your fears. You can do it. Jump out. This week, we see later on, she's cheering for people that could potentially send her home in Devon during the daily. And she's still cheering for him. Like, she just seems like a genuinely nice person.
Yeah.
And, that's always a pleasant thing to see.
In a world filled with chaos, yeah.
Yeah. So we get into the daily, speaking of that. It's called Judgment Day. I'm not sure why I get a purge challenge, but usually they try to do a pun.
Oh, my God. I just got it.
Okay.
Okay. Let me jump ahead in this daily a little bit.
All right, let's go.
All right. Theo.
Yeah.
Was like doing some sort of it was like he was commentating.
Yes.
I just figured out why he was doing that.
Why?
He gets all hot and heavy for the tribunal room, right?
Uh-huh.
This challenge is called Judgment Day.
Uh-huh.
What do you do in the tribunal room? You judge him.
Uh-huh.
He thinks he's in the tribunal room.
I thought you were going to have some big,
No, this is a big thing.
No, I thought this was going to be an epiphany of, I get why this challenge is called Judgment Day.
No.
Okay. Because I was saying, they typically take something to do, like a pun, with something that they're doing for the day and then work that in somewhere.
Well, you're climbing your way into heaven and falling right down into the pits of hell is what's happening.
I don't think that's what's
Is that
happening.
not it?
No.
But it's like you're changing your mind. You keep falling in. No, but Theo, right? Like
He was doing a lot of commentary because at one point I looked at you and I was like, who's he talking to? I was like, they're all watching.
it was like you would hear when you watch a basketball game or a football game.
Yeah.
It's like he was breaking down what was happening.
He was like the color analyst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He thought he was in the tribunal room because it was titled Judgment Day.
I guess. I don't know.
What a guy.
But
that makes me like him now.
Okay.
he just takes that little portion
Yeah.
and just applies it.
That's where we found out that
What do you think he does in a courtroom?
he's not. I don't know. He may have been in court, but I don't want to speak to that. I don't know. That's where we found out officially from TJ. Last place guy, last place girl, go home. And we all knew that from the preview because I think they kind of spoiled that last week. But it kind of broke to the contestants at that point. And so Paulie's first. And by the way, say what you want about him.
Here we go.
That's a heck of a start. That dive from the
Oh my God.
the 25 feet off the shipping
Has
container.
anything ever looked prettier?
I mean, it was so it was just a good dive. I was going to say it was professional level. I'm not going to go that far, but he had good form. He didn't hesitate at all, and he used all of his momentum to jump out as far as he could and then dive. He didn't just jump straight down. Heck of a way to start.
Man.
He said probably not the smartest thing,
But it looked great.
it did look good. That's a way to get going for sure. But we get into that. This was the big thing they teased on MTV all week long, or the last couple days at least, was showing Paulie struggling on this daily. But we didn't know he was the first person to go.
Mm-mm.
And so basically he climbs up the ladder, runs across, tries to do the rope swing, falls. Climbs back up.
Well, he doesn't just fall, but you can see because they do a slow motion
Uh-huh.
of it, right? His grip is gone right there.
Already.
It's already gone.
Which we didn't see that with anyone else.
No.
Yeah, he loses it on the first swing, and then he's got to climb up, try again, loses it immediately, climb up, and then does he finally make it on the third one?
Yeah.
So he finally got there on the third one. He works his way up to the ring you have to get. He comes back down, and then his arms are just gone.
They're gone.
There's nothing you can do.
It's just a matter. It's one of those inexplicable things where your body just shuts down because he's the lightest guy there. There's no reason he can't.
And he's in really good shape.
He's in great shape, and I mean he's done some challenging stuff this season. And done it really well.
Yeah, he's proven he's a really high level athlete.
Yeah.
And
I mean, this is just a case of his body shut down.
He went so hard and so fast at the beginning that I think he expended a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't do it. Like and at that point he had been in that cold water for who knows how long, and
which also makes your muscles respond extremely weird.
Yeah, he started taking his gloves off. He's trying to do anything to get a grip, and he gets up to the top. It's false.
Like neck first.
Yeah, and he was like his hands were on the top.
Yeah.
And he just fell off, and then he climbs up again, falls again, like looks like he lands on his like leg on one of those bars, but he kind of whiplashes back into the water. And I mean, you can say what you want about him. I've said a lot of things about Pauly, but you can't say that he didn't try. Like he gave it everything he had. His body gave up on him,
and legitimately like tore up about it.
Yeah, we've seen that before. Like what was it? This like that one final, like Zach like just couldn't move anymore because he wasn't ready for the final, and Laurel was yelling at him or whatever.
Yeah.
Was it Laurel?
It was Laurel.
Yeah, and then we had the one where Wes's body gave out on him, and Kenny had to carry him for a little bit. Like, sometimes, like, you're in these crazy environments, and, like, you can have all the desire you want, but your body's just done.
It's like, all these basketball games we watch, man. They're just not your shots not falling. You're one of the greatest shooters on the planet.
It's typically not because you're, like, so atrophied you can't move, but
some nights you don't have it.
Yeah, no, I think he went way too hard, way too fast, and because of that, and because he DQs, all the other guys know, I just have to finish. Like, I don't have to be fast.
Yep.
As long as I finish, I'm in the final, or at least on to the next phase, and I'm not purged.
But here was the interesting thing to watch is the whole Pauly thing was happening was literally every one of the guys were like, if he can't do it.
Yeah, what does that mean for me?
All of them, Wes, Theo, Hunter, all of them were freaking out over it.
He had to be helped up by the medics, and then like they turned him on his side, like kind of what you do with someone like having a seizure.
Yeah.
And like, hey, calm down, and like his body was kind of convulsing. I mean, he had to go into the paramedic, like into the back of the ambulance, probably get oxygen for sure. I mean, he may have had to get fluids or something, we don't know. But one thing, like when we finished recording with him, I was. From just the lead ups and like the trailers from the season, we knew Pauly was hurt at some point.
Yeah.
And then from the trailer from last week, we saw his leg tattoo as the person going into the ambulance. So I was just like off mic. I mean, we were done recording. And I was like, hey man, just so you know, like we hope you weren't hurt, like for real, going into this next week, because he can't talk about it. And he's like, oh yeah, he's like it hurt. And I was like, well, that's not what we would want. And he's like, well, that's because you're normal humans.
Yeah.
He's like, a lot of people wanted me to get hurt. And, again, I've said a lot of things about him for sure, but that's not a way you want someone to go out as just getting hurt or whatever. Same with Kyle. Like, that's not what you want. And we've seen that happen a few seasons before. We just interviewed Frank. Obviously, he got sent home on free agents because he had pneumonia.
Yeah.
And I mean, stuff out of your control, that sucks. Pauly gave it all he had, but he didn't have it that day. And so Wes is next. Wes just knows he has to finish. And Wes, he does pretty quick. Again, the one complaint we've had is this season we don't have timers or this person did this much on the dailies, but Wes finishes.
Yeah.
He said in his interview, I'll be surprised if anyone beats me. Again, he's done a million of these things. So Wes finishes. Ninja goes, if anyone should kill this, it should be her. I mean, she's all, hey, I'm going to do weird things where I have to use all my upper body strength. I have to climb. I have to swing, all that type of stuff. She doesn't do as well as what you would expect.
No.
She, her first rope swing, which she should be awesome at, she nails the side of that shipping thing. And then she has to do it again.
Not the worst collision we see.
No, not the worst one. But again, you would expect, she's done this type of stuff a million times. She should be fine. Not the case. But she does finish. Again, no time for us. Then we get into Maddie. Maddie, maybe the most disadvantaged person, because she's built like Laurel, like very tall, a lot of lower body strength. It seems she's strong. She's strong, but she's not just like has huge biceps, triceps like Ninja does. She's probably 6 feet, and I'm not going to guess weight because you're not supposed to do that. But
That's inappropriate.
Again, she's not small.
Yeah.
But and she's not fat at all. Like I'm not saying that, but she's just a big girl.
Yeah.
And like she's a strong competitor. And so that rope swing was what I was worried about. And the thing is she's so long that she holds on and then she like hangs from it, and that makes her go even further down. And if she nails that shipping container,
like her lower back just like right into it,
like hits it hard and then falls. And is this when the seal shows up?
Oh man, there would have been nothing greater than if they'd have queued up A Kiss from a Rose.
They probably don't have the rights to that.
Seal.
Yeah.
But if they did,
yeah.
How iconic of a moment.
So she starts climbing back up, and then the seal comes out of nowhere.
Which she gets, and maybe she didn't realize what it was. I just see something's moving toward her in the water.
And that would freak you out.
Yeah.
I mean, again, how many people had gone? 3 other people had gone.
Yeah.
They'd been there for a while. There's not anything else swimming around, and then all of a sudden, this like dog in the water shows up because that's basically what seals are. We talked about that.
Yeah, because exactly what we said is that they are the dogs of the water.
They are. They're curious. They just want to hang out and see what's going on.
God, man, I'd love to hang out with a seal sometime.
Yeah. But when something's coming in the water at you, it freaks you out. Do you remember that time we were in Florida, and it was me and you and your brother and some other people, and we were kind of probably maybe like a little above waist deep in the water, so like waist to chest deep, and then we see a wave coming in, and then there's like 5 stingrays in that wave, and it's like coming towards us.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh no, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, because that's how the great Steve Irwin died.
Yeah, and actually
peace.
My dad, when I was like 2 or 3, we were in Florida, my dad stepped on a stingray and the barb went all the way up through his foot. Like he had to go to the emergency room, and like we saw those stingrays coming at us, and we all had to run to get out. It's hard to run in water like that. But again, it freaks you out when something's unexpected coming at you. And so I don't blame her. Turbo thought it was hilarious.
Oh, man. Yeah. Can you imagine a sitcom?
Turbo and the Seal.
Turbo and the Seal.
Yeah, I'd watch that for sure.
That's a great TV show.
Yeah. And again,
MTV, they listen, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
There's your next #1 hit.
Listen, we're so full of good ideas.
We have them.
Yeah.
We got a box of ideas over here.
Just a whole box.
Zach, you claim that's a box of comic books over there, but I would venture to say that's a box of ideas.
It is.
Hey, man.
What are comic books but a bunch of ideas?
That's right.
Yeah. So Maddie gets disqualified. Georgia goes next, which, by the way, we haven't really talked about it. Georgia has done so much better than I think any of us ever expected coming into this season. Because remember that first elimination? Like, she was very timid.
Yeah.
Against Ashley.
Yeah. And
she just ended up, like, pulling it out. And I still was like, oh, she's pretty weak compared to everyone else. But she's done really well. I mean, she can...
Well, she's played smart. Like, minus the bear stuff.
Yeah.
But you think about the elimination with Nani, which is...
We can't count that. That's out the window.
But you still, right, like, she goes into, like, singing mode and just being really annoying and everything, and...
It channels the inner bear.
I mean, you had to say it worked to some extent.
Yeah.
Because Wes was flustered over it.
Well, I think he was flustered because she was moving, and I don't know if they were allowed. Again, that elimination is such bullcrap. Like, it's not even worth talking about. But yeah, she's done so much better than I expected.
Yeah.
So she finishes. Theo's next. Your favorite.
I came around on Theo today.
Because of the judgment.
I like it. I just think he should own that.
Okay. He goes, I mean, he's super long.
Yeah.
He kills it. I mean, he finishes. He kind of dances at the top before he drops his ring. Again, he just knows he's got to finish. So he finishes. Then we get Davon. Basically, same situation as Maddie. Same exact spot. She can't make the rope swing across. She drops. She climbs back up just as far as Maddie. The only difference is Davon was taking a lot of time to get up to the second thing to start off with, because she just was like, oh, I just need to finish because Maddie disqualified.
Yeah.
And so we don't know if this is how they chose it or not, but they cut to Wes at some point, and he's telling Maddie, hey, she's taking so much time. You got up to the second tier way quicker, since if neither of you get to that third tier, they may say, hey, you got here first, so you win. And it seems to be that's what happened. And, you know, Davon, she disqualifies as well. And we're not quite through the thing yet, but she's the one that gets sent home. Hunter's next. Hunter finishes. Surprisingly, killed the rope swing on the first try because he's built like a cannonball.
Yeah.
He held on all the way through, made it, finished. Again, did what he needed to. That's when they announce Paulie's gone, Davon's gone. That's when we see the interview with Paulie where he's crying. You know, I mean, it is. We talked about it already, but it's just what happens. I don't think anyone. I think Wes at one point said, you know, you hate that that's how it happened, but obviously it makes it better for all the other guys competing. But you don't ever want to see that from just a competitive standpoint.
No.
And he actually spoke to that with Kyle. He said like him and Kyle talked off camera, like, oh, Kyle's hurt, like he's got a broken toes and a messed up knee and a broken wrist or whatever and a messed up face. Like even if they went in a hall brawl together, it's not the same. So basically with that purge, all Big Brother's gone. I mean, nobody left.
Are you happy about that?
I'm not happy about it. I just think a lot of the Big Brother people come in and they just think the challenge is really easy.
Because you've had that stance.
Yeah.
Since we started this pod.
Well, to be fair, yeah, we've seen Big Brother people in the last 2 seasons.
That, you know, you don't know.
Do you not feel that way?
I don't necessarily have a problem with it.
But do you feel like the Big Brother people come in entitled because they say, "Oh, I've already played this game on a bigger network"?
I think they make good television.
I'm not arguing that. My specific point is they are from my perspective, they are like, "Oh, I've already been on a reality competition on CBS. It's a bigger network. I know how to do this. I can run this. I can do this. I'm in shape, whatever." It's not the same. It's not the same game. I think Paulie would admit to that. I think all of them would admit to it at this point because we saw Morgan and Josh and all those come in. Josh didn't even make the first purge, and he had just won Big Brother. Morgan was gone, episode 3, episode 2? She had bananas, one of the, I mean, not in eliminations, but one of the strongest guys to ever play the game.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's won more than anybody else. You know, we've had Davon, Jose, Natalie, and Paulie spent 5 weeks in the Redemption House last season. A lot of these Big Brother people come in and like, I can do this. I've been on TV shows. I've been on competitions. It's not like they're coming from The Bachelor, like Chase or whatever his name was.
Tender Chase.
Yeah. I think they come in and they think that it's going to be easier than what other people think, and they're not standing anymore.
But I think it's also a confidence thing.
I think it's a confidence in an arrogant sense.
You think it's more arrogance
than
it is confidence.
I do. And, you know, that may be biased, but that's how I've always felt about the Big Brother people.
I just think you have to come in that way. You have to come in, like, because to me it's more confidence. I think you have to come in with that mindset and that attitude, because if you come in lost and confused, you've already lost the battle. Like the mental game.
Oh yeah, we didn't even count the Nolan twins, who one of them didn't make it, and the other one was gone right off the bat. I mean, I get being confident, but I do think every one of them to me feels like, and I'll probably get hate from I mean, we got Connor, one of our patrons. It's like a huge Big Brother fan. He started watching the challenge because of Big Brother coming on. That's always how I felt about them, and that's always why I've been apprehensive about them coming on. I think some of them have proved themselves. I think Davon's shown very well this season, especially compared to last season. And I think obviously Paulie's done really well this season. But the other ones, what have they done? What have they done? I'm asking you.
What do you want me to say?
I'm just asking you.
I'm not.
Do you think the Nolan twins were good additions to this show this season?
I don't think we know the answer to that.
This season,
I don't think we.
we do.
Yeah, they went out, but
Yeah.
I don't know as far as like what they add to the show. They weren't
Mm-hmm.
around long enough.
But it's
But
not,
somebody had to go home.
I get that, but it's not even that. It's like, what would they have brought to the table that would have been better than any of the girls we have left?
Twins.
That's not a. One of them didn't even make the first cut.
But I don't have an answer for you there because I don't know them. I don't know their background. I don't know what they would bring to the table.
What did I will say? Josh had a couple like memorable times.
Yeah.
But like as a competitive whatever, like I don't know what he brings to the show. He had some good off camera, but like outside of the dailies and outside of the eliminations, he had some good stuff. Because he's emotional, so he swings high in one direction, kind of like Frank. Not quite the same, but I just don't know. Jose, you don't like Jose.
I came around.
By the way, Jose's the only person from this show that has us blocked.
Oh, he does have us blocked.
Yeah.
Man, shout out to Jose.
Yeah.
No, I remember like I came around on him a little bit more for what was it? Vendettas that he was on.
No, it was last season. Was it not? Or was it two
No.
seasons ago?
It was Vendettas.
Ooh, man, these seasons have all kind of pushed together.
And he because on Chance vs. Stars, like
Which I didn't watch.
he was around long enough for me to form an opinion. This guy was constantly going on about how he
Jose was on last season.
Was he on last season?
Because we interviewed Shane. And we talked about his rap songs with Shane.
Oh, man, was that last season?
Yeah, it was last season.
You're right, because he was partnering with Devon, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
That's right.
That's a Big Brother alliance.
Okay, so I came around on him a little bit more from a competitive standpoint because it was like he kind of got a little more reasonable with kind of his place in the challenge. Whereas when he was on Champs vs. Stars, there were all these little segments of him saying, "I got this, I'm gonna win this, all this," and he would always be like last all the time, every time.
You're proving my point about the Big Brother people.
But it was such a drastic difference.
It's not. That's how I feel with all of them now. Like, I got it. I'm coming in. I can nail this. I'm doing whatever. That's how all of them have been to me, other than now Pauly and Devon. Natalie, pretty good at dailies. Her first season, horrible at eliminations. She's too nice to be on the show to me. She wasn't even like she. What did she do this season? They almost cut her out of the show. Do you remember anything she did this season?
Natalie.
Yeah.
Not right off top.
She was JP's partner. That's the only
Yeah,
thing.
but that may be a JP issue too.
Again,
What do you remember about JP?
He picked
He told CT,
Yeah.
"Welcome to the challenge."
I get it. Like, everyone's like, you're an idiot. Like, I don't know. Like, I just, that's always has been my thing with Big Brother. I'm not hating on the show itself. I just, so far, what I've seen from there, because we don't watch Big Brother.
Right. Maybe we should.
We may need to watch. I think it's
Because
18.
There are rumors of some more Big Brother
Yep.
people coming on this coming season.
Which we're not going to talk about yet.
No.
Because it hasn't even started filming yet. But, yeah, I mean, that may be something we do down the road on Patreon or something. Patreon.com/SmashDance
Check it out.
But yeah, I don't know. That's how I've always felt about the Big Brother people since they started showing up. And, Pauly and Devon have definitely shown well this season. I mean, it's not like they're Shailene.
God, somebody's got to give her...
Her birthday.
Somebody has to give her a proper birthday celebration.
That's still one of the saddest things I can remember from this show.
If it's the last thing I do on this earth, God dog it, I'm going to give her the birthday party she deserves.
Yeah.
Shailene, you think she listens?
No.
I mean, there's a chance.
I mean, there is a chance. I don't know why she would.
If you are a listener, if you're listening to this right now, and you are acquaintances with Shailene, please pass along to her that the crew here at the Smashing Heads headquarters We want to give her the proper birthday celebration she deserves. Do you not want to?
No, I was about to say, as far as I know, I'm the one who broke that story.
And good job by you. That's a great job by you.
Because like we were watching and like we noticed the night out, we noticed what they were wearing, and then Shaylene's gone, and then she posts on Instagram, "Oh, I had a great birthday," and it's all the same outfits, all the same, exactly the same looks, and we talked about it that night, and I haven't seen it mentioned anywhere else. I did not get that. A lot of stuff we'll see on Twitter, or someone will say on Reddit. That was something that I just was like, is this real? Did they really cut out her birthday on an episode that she was going up for elimination?
All I'm saying is if you know Shaylene, send her our way. Let her know. There's this podcast down south that...
oh, yeah, she's Canadian.
That thinks a lot of you and that thinks everyone deserves...
a birthday.
Just a birthday bash. You ever had a birthday bash? You've had a birthday party. Everybody's had a birthday party. But if you had a birthday bash...
I don't know if you can say everybody.
Most people have had a birthday party. But a birthday bash, that's next level. And that's what we want to give to her. So if you know her, let her know.
Yeah.
Tell her we're here for her.
After that purge, TJ is very vague with everyone. He basically is like, all right, I'll see you when I see you. And doesn't say, oh, you've made the final. Doesn't say, oh, we got another elimination. They're kind of up in the air. And we, I made a note, and I don't even know what this means.
What's it say? What'd you write down?
Returning champ? ? I think what that means is, we cut to the next night, or maybe it's the same night as that daily, and then Carl walks in with it. Oh, TJ's got in touch with us and says basically, oh, everyone, welcome to the final, and then the room kind of splits. Vets versus newbies or new people or world whatever they're called, and it's 3 versus 5. There's more new people than there are vets. But I think I wrote returning champs because all the vets that are left have all won. Although Hunter's is debatable because he didn't get the money.
I'm going to tell you something. At what point, rather I'm going to ask you something.
Okay.
At what point do we start talking about Hunter as a legit, like real deal, top notch
I don't know.
competitor?
Because he's been very heavily guided by Wes this season.
But he made the final last year.
He did.
With one of the weirdest partnerships ever.
But he's going to have asterisks by all of his stuff because he was the last team into the last season. Like, he was the latest mercenary team coming in, right?
But as I've told you, don't hate the player, hate the game.
I'm not arguing with that, but he was the last one in. And technically, he finished first, but he did not win.
Right.
Because Ashley won.
Right.
She was the number 1 overall. She got to choose if she shared the money or not, and she chose not to.
But was it
I was about to say, do you consider Sarah winning Rivals 3? It's weird. Like, I don't know.
It's winning with an asterisk.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that's all of Hunter so far.
Yeah. And then you go back to Vendettas.
Uh-huh.
Where he broke his hand.
Yeah.
Like, he was like one elimination away from the final.
Was it Vendettas? I don't remember.
I believe it was.
Is it that or Dirty 30?
One of those. But
yeah.
Again, he's one elimination away.
Yeah.
But he's got this broke hand, and he can't compete properly.
Yeah.
And so, I'm just saying, like look, I'm not like a Hunter mark over here.
Well, is that a new thing? Mark?
No, it's a wrestling term.
Okay, I don't know that
like,
one.
you mark out for it. Like,
No,
you mark out for the New Deal.
I don't know that one. What I was going to say is, like...
It's the New Day. Zach calls him the New... I'm not an idiot.
What I was going to say is, Hunter, I don't know if Wes wasn't around this season, if he would have made it as far as he did. Not just competitively, but we saw how emotional he gets.
But that's nothing new.
It's not, but you get sent home for dumb stuff when you, like, guys get in their head and, like, they lose their head over stuff all the time, and they get sent home because at that moment, proving that you're tough or whatever, it's more important than the long view of the game. And what night was it with Turbo?
You're just mad at that because you love Turbo.
No, I think it's just stupid. It's stupid.
I'm not standing up for that stuff.
I mean, Wes had to pull him apart and be like, "You're gonna lose because you don't like you're not thinking."
Yeah,
Like,
I get it.
I think so. Obviously, the last season has big asterisks because they came in late and then he didn't win anything. This season, smaller asterisks, but he did have like Wes before the show even started was like, "I'm gonna be like your protector."
Yeah, but then you'd have to go back through all the challenge history.
I get it.
And put an asterisk by so many different people that won.
I get it. I'm just not willing to say he's right, at least right now.
I think he's.
Well, let's see what he does.
Yeah.
In this final, that could legitimately change my mind.
Yeah.
I think if he comes in this final, finishes. Well, we know there's going to be some sort of an elimination. It seems because there's going to be a tribunal in the final. But if he finishes top 2, top 3, even like out of 8, like that's pretty good.
I think for me, he's a guy that like, I'm not gonna put him in. There's not a top.
I was going to ask, who do you compare him to?
I would have to think on that, but I think he's a guy because I don't think he's gotten this sort of respect to this point. But like, I think he's a guy like going forward. Say he's back next season. And, some of these new guys that were on here this season come back. Like, Hunter's a guy you have to look at and be like, that's a guy I've got to, like, worry about. I think he's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I can't put my finger on, like, a one-to-one comparison for him right now. At least not right now. I mean, it's also, like, 12:40 in the morning. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's interesting because, obviously, he's a big competitor. But I want to see how this final plays out before I kind of try to give him a grade on anything. Because I mean, he's obviously not like even like he's not Johnny level.
No,
he's not even Kenny and Evan level. Kenny made a ton of finals.
Who do you think? Here's a good. Who do you think is the better, more proven competitor?
Why don't you throw a bunch of them out at me? And I'll be honest. I like if I think Hunter's better.
Let me pull up a.
Yeah,
let me just pull up
your list of the people.
Oh, you know what? That's good. Well, the name that first came to mind, Tony or Hunter.
I'd pick Hunter.
You'd pick Hunter?
Yeah, I would. Tony, I think, again, he was always Banana's puppy, and then he got his big shot last season, or the season before last, whichever one that was. I would pick Hunter over Tony on that one. Talking about Tony Raines?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
I like this. This is a fun one.
This is a good one.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
And you may change my mind if I pick him a bunch over some of these people.
All right, so I'm just going to go through my list here.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, you take Jordan. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Derek K.
I picked Derek.
There's no comparison there. Yeah. Leroy.
I would. Man, that's where it gets tougher.
That's another name that popped in my head.
That's where it gets tougher because I like Leroy a lot more.
I love Leroy, but I think Hunter's the more, at this point, I think he's more the threat. I think if you're a guy going to the house, you're more worried about Hunter than
because
you are Leroy.
With Leroy, he's had a longer career of not doing it.
Right.
I agree. I can lean more towards Hunter on that one, even though I would personally pick Leroy.
Nelson.
I would put Hunter over Nelson.
Yeah, but Nelson's another underrated one.
He is. He's kind of dumb, but
obviously Darrell.
Yeah, Darrell, 100%. Even at this age,
Devin. Different sort of.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Like the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Like Devin's all like head games and not any strength. Hunter's no head games, all strength.
Yeah.
I would pick Devin just because I like Devin better. Also, Devin's gotten in really good shape in the last 6 months. Like he's preparing.
It'll be interesting to see him pair more of a physical dynamic with his.
Like he's got abs and stuff now.
Yeah.
If he comes back like in really good shape, that's never happened.
Yeah. Zach.
I would pick Zach.
I think that's a really solid, like...
That may be your best 1-to-1 comparison.
Like, if you're lining them up side by side...
Zach's more subdued now.
Yeah.
But in his early years, he was hothead, man.
Yeah. I think that is a really good, like, you line them up, like, you could probably split it 50-50.
Zach did win his first season with Frank and all of them. I think that probably is the best 1-to-1 comparison.
They've both made 2 finals.
Yeah, I guess.
I think. Because
I don't remember.
Somebody's going to get us. Paul. Statman
yeah.
Paul.
He'll get us on it.
Kyle?
I'd pick Kyle.
You think so?
I would pick Kyle.
I think I'd take Hunter.
I'd pick... That's where we're going to disagree.
And we're not building a team here. We're talking about...
but we will do that on Friday. Patreon.com/MashTest Podcast.
We're talking about who has proven to have the more legitimate shot to win.
So Kyle made the final his first season.
Yep.
Very first. Not really in shape. Not really like the most dedicated person, but he made it.
Yeah.
And he's shown well every season.
Yeah.
He had some big eliminations. I would pick Kyle over Hunter because Kyle's a more fun person to watch. I think you got to give him that.
Yeah, but that's not my question.
I get it, but like, I would still pick Kyle in eliminations. It would depend. Obviously, if he's hurt, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
But it would depend on the elimination of who I think would win.
Here's another.
Kyle's a lot taller, a lot longer.
Here's another good one.
Okay,
Brad.
I'd pick Brad.
You'd pick Brad.
He's won. I mean, Hunter asterisk is one, but now Brad at this age. Is that what you're asking? I'd probably pick Hunter if I had to go Brad now.
Yeah.
Which Brad's retired, by the way.
Rest in peace. Let's see. You obviously take Wes.
Yeah.
Abram.
Oh, I'm going to pick Abram every day.
Too.
Every day.
I would too.
Yeah, it's not even close. Because Abram would find a way to get in his head and like make him think he's going to lose.
Kahutta.
I got to give it to Hunter.
Yeah, I think so too. We love Kahutta though.
Yeah.
Corey's cousin Mitch.
Mitch. All day.
We're going Mitch.
Yeah.
All right, just a few more
Let's
here.
get through this quick.
Your guy Brandon Nelson.
Brandon Nelson, all day, every day. Not even a question.
You're letting your heart speak on
Not
that
even
one.
a question.
You're letting your heart speak on that one. All right, Frank.
Frank, all day, every day.
I do think I'd take Frank.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. 'Cause
Yeah.
We brought that up in our interview, how, like, I mean, he's
a great competitor.
He made the final his first 2 seasons.
He
won
won
his first season.
Yeah, made top 2 second season.
Yeah, and then free agents was what it was.
He got
with
pneumonia.
him getting sick. Yeah.
Frank is a really great competitor.
Here's your last one. Similar build, but I think it's a no-brainer. Hannah's got Dunbar.
Dunbar.
Oh,
No,
come on.
I'm joking. No, you go with Hunter. Dunbar's, I mean, he hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
He made the final a couple of times, but it's like a team final.
I think Hunter has made a mark.
I think he's leaning towards that for sure.
And I think he should be talked about more. And I'm not necessarily like I'm not.
He's not top 5, not even top 10.
No. But I think he keeps doing this stuff.
If he keeps it up,
Keeps making finals.
Yeah, I agree.
He's on his way.
He's definitely someone we'd have to talk about. I think I just accidentally turned my Bluetooth on in my headset. Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, so we wrapped this episode up with 5 rookies, basically.
Versus 3 vets.
3 vets.
That's where we started this whole thing.
3 winners.
Yeah.
Asterisk by Hunter.
And 3 people who have all competed in finals.
Yeah.
That's a big difference maker.
Yeah.
Although the last couple finals have been more of a joke, like Wes and Kara have been through real finals.
Yeah.
Like heavy ones. And I think that's definitely an advantage. And, Hunter at least has been in the finals because it's different than some just the normal everyday stuff. I think that will play a significant advantage because it's not like there's a Challenge UK or a Challenge Australia or whatever that these people came from. Like, they're coming off Geordie Shore and Love Island. And now Turbo was on Survivor, but as far as I'm aware, there's not a huge big final. It's just a voting system of like dailies and stuff.
Yeah.
I think Turbo will probably be the most prepared because he was on a show like Survivor where he had to learn to push his body and himself to like a lot of limits because you're like surviving essentially. So I think out of all of the rookies, he's going to fare the best to me, and that's just what I think.
And I think as far as people who will fare the best, I think Wes is right there with him.
I think Wes and Turbo are 1 and 2.
And then if you're talking the females, I mean you gotta
put Cara.
You gotta put Cara number 1.
Yeah. And then it's like between Ninja and Georgia. And
yeah.
Who's the
Maddie?
Maddie. I just don't know, man.
I mean, this thing's called the Death Path.
Yeah.
And it's 50 miles long.
Yeah, and some of that's biking, but we see like the preview Ninja, like it looks like her body just gives up on like some of the biking.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is, but it's in the desert in Namibia. This was filmed in, what was it? January, February, March? When was it filmed? It was filmed in January because it premiered in March and we didn't expect it to. So if they're below the equator, which is what I'm thinking of how like Kenya is when I've gone there, their seasons are different from ours. So it was our winter time, that would be their summertime.
Yeah.
So that's the desert in the summertime.
It looks like the real deal, though.
Oh yeah, it looks like a final, like
the first great final we've had in some time.
Kind of like the one where like CT and DM were like climbing up that mountain
in the cold. That's with all the snow. It was brutal.
Yeah, and
brutal
then,
final.
And then the one with Battle of the Seasons with Frank and Zach, where they're just in the desert climbing sand dunes.
Which I said I think was the last great final. The last
there
great
may be one or two.
final.
Yeah, there may be 1 or 2 exceptions since then, but that was a big one.
Yeah.
And so. I'm excited for this final. I'm hoping it's like an hour and a half episode next week or something like that.
Yeah.
Like an extended. I don't want it to be a 2-part final, which I don't think it is from what we've been shown. But I hope it's just an extended final. I'm excited for it. This is a great season. It's been a great season.
It's up there.
I've heard that if you go back and watch like Final Reckoning and Vendettas like all in one sitting, like a binge watch, they're way more like palatable because you don't have these big drawn outs. Like, okay, well, it's been 3 weeks, we haven't even had a daily yet, or it's been a month before the first elimination. But this season definitely, and I think the ratings have shown this is what people want.
Yeah,
the ratings have been up, and I don't think it's because Big Brother people are on here or whatever.
You tried something new and it didn't work. You tried a more drama-driven show, and it didn't work. I
think people get enough of that from a lot of the other reality, Teen Mom, Catfish, whatever. People like the challenge because of competition. Like Paulie even said in our interview, which you haven't listened to, go listen to. He said his family used to sit around and watch it like they would watch sports. I don't know how much of that is true. I'm taking him at his word.
No, I think he's being honest.
I mean, that's
honest Paulie. We call him over here.
Yeah, that's what everyone knows him by. It's people like the competitive side. The drama is fun, especially when it relates to the competitive side and it builds into eliminations and stuff like that. Like again, we talked about with Frank, one of the ballsiest moves of all time in an elimination. Jordan could have been safe. He flips all the cards on, was it free agents?
I think so.
Because he wants Johnny. Mm-hmm. He knows Johnny's up for elimination. He could potentially, he had like a 1 in 4 chance to not go in. He flips all of them because he wants him. Now, it didn't work out, but that's good TV because they hated each other. Which I think is why people were upset about the Kyle thing with Paulie. They wanted to see it. But I do think Kyle was hurt, like for real.
Yeah. Like
it wouldn't have been a good competition. But I'm excited, man.
It's gonna be good.
I'm excited about this next season. Let's do you want to hit through Hannah's notes real quick?
You want to read a half, or she got 2 full pages?
She got.
What she got? 2 pages over there?
Almost 3.
God Almighty!
Well, the last one is superlatives.
Seriously, look at how thick my notes were here. Look at it.
Oh, those are so thick.
I'm saying there's not hardly anything.
Is it just
there.
That green part?
No. It's all this, but like All right, take my superlatives away. That's what my notes are.
Yeah, these are mine right here. I mean, I pretty much
She
keep.
normally notate stuff that we don't, like, that we're just like, it's not noteworthy.
Yeah, or we'll try. If it comes up, it comes up. Like, all right, so here we go. Again, she's not in the room. Some of these references I may not understand. She got really mad at me apparently because last time we did this, I didn't read her handwriting in the SpongeBob meme way. Which
You didn't deliver it properly.
I didn't know I was supposed to. All right, here we go. I'll do page 1. You can do page 2. D versus Davon. Davon is fighting for her daughter, but that umph just ain't there. D started off hot, but boy, she slowed down to a creep. These are not at all how we write our notes. These are like full sentences.
She's writing out thoughts in her head.
Yeah. Like, mine say, Davon wins. Final 10. Maddie was in dark place. Judgment Day. Like, mine are very succinct.
Yeah.
That's why the show works. Because we're all different. D is so upset. It's like she's disappointed in herself. Quote, I can leave with memories that cannot be bought with money. Did she say that? It's a quote, so I'm assuming she did.
Yeah, I mean, Hannah's no liar.
Yeah. And then she wrote, "Aw, D." Then it says, "What happened to Fob?" Oh, FOB, Fall Out Boy, because they played a Fall Out Boy song. And we're like, "What is this? What is happening?" And then she did a frowny face. Wow, Davon looks amazing in this confessional. Again, I don't know which one she's talking about. Cara talking to Polly about the level of trust they have. ... His face looks super guilty. This was before all the stuff with Danielle and all that.
But after our interview with Polly.
It was, which Hannah wasn't much a part of. Then she just said, "This daily is insane." So Polly is a diver. Wow.
Oh, God.
Quote, use your strong legs. LOL, gross. I'm assuming that was a Cara quote to Polly.
My headphones went out.
Oh, you pulled it.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that better?
I want to make sure I hear.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Say that last one. I missed it.
Use your strong legs. LOL, gross. It was a quote from, I'm guessing, Cara. And then watching Polly struggle seems to be scaring Hunter. Turbo embracing Polly is so sweet. What an amazing man. Theo, quote, whatever Wes can do, I can do better. Gross. No way. Not possible. He's also very critical of Natalie? Question mark. Do you want me to just read all this?
I think you're doing great.
Okay.
Why did she say it was gross for Theo to have that thought?
I don't know.
That he was better.
Anything Wes can do, I can do better. Gross. A little LIL. A little seal came to help Maddie finish the course. Heart OMG. I am so pleasantly surprised by Georgia, which we talked about.
Yeah. Heart OMG.
Turbo narrating is fantastic. He's so good at everything ever. Why haven't we gotten a single food challenge yet? That is something people brought up.
You know what? I bet that's where she wanted the SpongeBob.
No, this was last time.
Does she not want one here?
She didn't tell me that.
Can you just throw in one?
I'm assuming we're going to have a food challenge in the final.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Something like that. Where it's like, if you don't, like in Battle of Seasons, if you don't make the ring land on the hook, you got to take a drink of that gross camel milk or whatever it was.
Or pig's urine or
something. Next week is the final. She was saying because we haven't got a food challenge yet. Maddie is cheering on Davon to finish, even though that would definitely keep her out of the final. What an amazing person. We talked about that. Why am I hoping Hunter falls so that Polly stays in the game? A bunch of question marks.
Oh, wow. What a turn.
She did like 5 question marks after that.
What a turn. We need to ask her about that one.
Yeah.
Is she still awake?
No.
Oh.
Oh my God, he's crying so much. This is so cringy. And then
she thought it was cringy.
I think he was. So it was a little cringy, but I do think it was. He talked to us about it. He puts quotes out there. He gives himself benchmarks, and if he doesn't live up to them, you have something to throw right back at him. Which you got stuff to throw right back at him now. The not the quote, but the video that the challenge posted today of him falling off those nets. Wes commented on it. He's like, the trolls are gonna have a field day with this one.
Hey, you guys are just a bunch of jerks.
I didn't say it. If it came down to Cara and Paulie left for first place in the final, would they compete or do the no you go thing? You know? Maddie stays, all capital letters and exclamation points. There's Cara's good nail beds again. We talked about that.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, nail beds.
I still didn't notice. Turbo, it is, quote, it is too early to celebrate. Now is the time to concentration. That is not joke. Unquote.
Oh, is this quote?
Yeah. This final is going to be out of this freaking world. And then we have our superlatives. So she brings things up that we didn't talk about.
I think you, and this is not a slide at Hannah.
Yeah.
But I think you reading Hannah's notes is as good as Hannah giving her takes
Well, it's
in
just
real
like,
time.
some of it I don't know what she's trying to say. And I don't know. We talked about some of it.
Heart OMG. That was a good one.
Yeah.
And then being repulsed by Theo.
Oh yeah, for saying
Gross.
that's the weirdest one. Is that
Just for thinking
that's gross?
Like, that's your response. Like, you can think it's a stupid take, but just to say gross.
Yeah, I think it's a cocky thing for sure, and I don't think he's proven he's. I mean, again, now just as an athlete, he's great. But
man.
All right, so let's get into who smashed some heads. I'll make Hannah go first.
That's a good idea.
Georgia. I don't think anyone thought she would finish this or get to the final, and I agree with that. We talked about it.
That's a good one.
Georgia's a good one. Who do you pick?
Hunter.
I mean, clearly.
I mean, I don't need to say anything else.
Yeah. You know,
you don't like Hunter.
No, it's not that. I was trying to think. I didn't write mine down because we
God.
jumped in here on Instagram pretty quick. Like, I didn't even know we were going yet. I'm gonna go with. You know what? You can call me biased. Our man Wes made the final after not being here for so long. He finished the thing. I mean, we didn't have a guys elimination this week. I guess I could go with Davon because she beat D. And
It's your superlative.
it is my. I'm going with Wes because Davon got eliminated on the next purge. Wes is still here. Shout out to Wes. Taking time off, building the company, coming back, married man. He's on his honeymoon right now as we speak. And again, he showed you can take time off and then train and come back and still be good.
Yeah, shout out to Beta Blocks over there.
Beta BLOX. So who got their head smashed? She wrote Polly literally by a shipping container.
I mean, if that has to be the one. I don't know who else you throw in there.
I could pick a couple different ones.
But you're just being cute.
No, like you could legitimately say Cara. You could. Polly was very
Her
upset.
heart got smashed.
Yeah, that would be the angle you take. Other than that, you'd have to go Maddie into the shipping container.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Polly and Cara are 1A and 1B. He was clearly devastated by it, and then she was too. So I think we're all that might be a unanimous one.
Yeah.
It's the same situation. So again, we're looking forward to next week. I mean, it's hopefully going to be just as good of a finale as what we're expecting. And I'm not honestly super excited about a 2-part reunion because there's a lot of kind of like dead space on those reunions.
I am because of what we seem to be having going on for the reunion.
Lolo Jones hosting it.
Oh.
Although I think the Miz,
You know what?
I think the Miz is hosting it too.
Do you think? And look, we don't wish ill on anybody, but do you think it has the potential to be such an awkward deal that it's fun to watch?
I don't know. She just is pretty unlikable, and I don't think a lot of people liked her on the Champs Versus.
No.
She doesn't have a lot of hosting experience. It's a weird choice for her.
Very weird choice.
Like, I think the Miz, it's her and the Miz.
Oh, the Miz is there.
Yeah, I think it's both, from what I read.
Ah.
So that makes it a lot better, because he's clearly going to take the lead.
Shout out to the Miz, man. What a guy.
Yeah. Again, he's
Former world champ.
He was doing something with Johnny for first look or whatever this past week. But All right, let's do our non-superlatives, but that we do every week. Which, by the way, shout out to the people that I saw on Facebook that said, "Love Smashing Hits podcast." Some of those challenge groups, I love their movie and music recommendations at the end.
Oh man, I missed that.
Well, it was just in a conversation of things. I meant to send it to you guys. I just forgot, and I was like, you know what? Thank you. We do it at the very end of the show. This is literally the last thing we do. And I told him about the one guy who's like 4 stars until you cut it out of the show.
And then there was one guy on Twitter.
I think it's the same guy.
I don't think we've heard from him since.
Yeah.
I think we really offended him because we like doubled down on the this is what we do.
Exactly. Like, if you don't want to listen here anymore, turn it off. It's fine. You're not going to hurt our feelings.
No,
we don't know.
Stick with us.
Yeah, I think we give good recommendations.
I do too.
So let's get into it. I'll do Hannah's first. The year is 2000. Do you want to do albums first?
No, we always do albums last, don't we?
I don't know. The movie is for 2017. She picked one that I would have picked, but I forgot about it. Kong Skull Island.
Still haven't seen it.
It's great. It's really good.
You want to watch it sometime?
I would watch it again. I've only seen it in theaters. Jordan Vogt Roberts was the director. He's doing a Metal Gear Solid movie now with Hideo Kojima.
Oh, I love Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, they're like best friends now.
Weird dude.
They've been
man.
working together like for a year because he wants to make this movie right for Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
Like again, I love that movie. I love the whole like monster verse where it's the Godzilla and whatever. I'm really excited about the new Godzilla movie. I like the one from like 2014 with Bryan.
That was a good one.
With Bryan Cranston and all that.
You were just mad that he, spoiler, died so soon.
Yeah, it was weird because he was like the person they kind of showed a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Kong Skull Island. It's funny at times. It's got a lot of Avengers in it.
Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston is in it. Brie Larson is in it. John C. Reilly is in it. Who's not an Avenger, but he's in it.
Yeah.
It's a good cast. Samuel L. Jackson's in it. That is one. I mean, does Nick Fury doesn't count as an Avenger? I guess. It's fine. There's a lot of Marvel ties in there. But that's her pick. My pick is Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
To me, top 5 Marvel movie.
I think so.
Yeah, for sure. Taika Waititi directed it. Great movie. The perfect tone for the Thor stuff, which if you've seen Endgame, kind of carries into Endgame. No spoilers here yet. But I love it. And it took me by surprise because Thor Dark World, not good to me.
It's been a little unnecessarily beat up. It's not as bad as everybody makes it out to be.
It's not good though to me. But I may need to go back and rewatch. I watched it in theaters and I haven't seen it since.
Well, mine very well may be my favorite movie of all time. And I have suggested it once before, but that's before we started going by year.
Mm-hmm.
Logan.
Oh yeah, I didn't even get that far because I saw Ragnarok and I was like, let's pick it.
It's
very good year. All 3 of these movies are great.
I will say this, and I think it still stands. Nobody has played their character. If you're talking in the superhero universe, not just Marvel, but like all of them, nobody has played their character better than Hugh Jackman.
Even in a crappy movie like that Wolverine standalone, the one
X-Men Origins.
Yeah, not the Japanese one. The one where he like cuts the helicopter blades and has fake CG claws and all that. He still was not the bad part of that movie. Yeah, perfect casting for that. Logan, I think you can make an argument, might be the best superhero movie that's ever been made. I mean, like, you can make a legit argument.
It's incredible.
It is. Like, it is. It blew me away when I watched it for the first time. It's top to bottom, great movie.
I take that back. The first superhero movie I ever cried over.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't cry
because I thought that ending was just so perfect.
Yeah,
I thought it was so perfect.
It is great. Like, I would love for more in that vein. Because I love X-Men just in general. That's like probably like my favorite like superhero group, and their movies have kind of been hit or miss.
I just wonder when because Marvel, they have the rights to the X-Men now. Mm-hmm. Well, when they start bringing them in and you cast Wolverine, like you talk about some shoes to fill.
Yeah, because in like all the throwback ones, Wolverine's not in those, right?
Right.
The like X-Men First Class and all that, because he comes in later.
Uh,
Was he in those?
He wasn't in First Class. He made a quick cameo appearance in Apocalypse.
I haven't seen Apocalypse yet because I heard it wasn't good.
Of course, Days of Future Past.
Yeah,
Yeah. He's the one who went back in time.
Yeah, but like he wasn't like he wasn't one of the original X-Men. He came in much like he actually appeared in like the Incredible Hulk number 181 as his first appearance ever. And then they kind of shoehorned him into the X-Men, which one of the top 5 comic characters of all time, I think. But that movie's perfect. I don't remember who directed that movie.
James Mangold.
Okay, well he needs to do more X-Men movies. Like as great as Deadpool is at capturing that character, and Ryan Reynolds did a phenomenal job. Hugh Jackman and Logan just as good in the other direction.
Yeah,
I think. 2 completely different movies, obviously. I want them to team up and like convince Hugh to do Wolverine another time with Deadpool.
Are you guys on a first name
Yeah,
basis
you know,
here?
Hugh.
Your guy Hugh, huh?
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
So Hannah's album is Paramore After Laughter. I feel like she's named like 11 Paramore albums
I
at this
think
point.
so. Has she not named them all yet?
It has to have been close. Like I don't even know. Like she could just be saying the same one every time. I don't know.
Maybe.
What's yours?
So I am officially off of the high school
You jerk.
bandwagon.
I've
here.
still got a bunch of those left.
So I want to shout out these guys originally resided in Nashville, right down the road from us. Arch Echo, instrumental band, but one of like some of the most technically proficient musicians I've ever heard in my life. Their new album just dropped this past week. It's called "You Won't Believe What Happens Next," and it is amazing. It's amazing. Their first album's great.
I'm gonna stick with high school albums.
That's fine.
Until this season is over, because I can do it. And then like if I go back before high school, I've got a million like pop punk and ska bands and stuff I can suggest that I still listen to. Mine is because I screwed it up. I should have named it last week. Neutral Milk Hotel in the Aeroplane Over the Sea. It is spelled Aero, A-E-R-O, Plane Over the Sea. It's a folk, weird mix of all kinds of stuff. It's very strange, but very good. That's all I'll say about it. It's on Spotify. Everything is these days, it seems. But that's my pick. Yeah. You have anything else we need to hit real quick?
You know, I think no.
I mean, just again, Smashing Heads Podcast has all of our information. Patreon.com/Smashing Heads Podcast. We will be recording this Friday again with Logan from Rotten Banana.
It's gonna be fun.
And one of our patrons, and that will go up on Patreon only. And then we'll do our normal recap next Wednesday. And then the following Sunday, which is the 19th, the Frank Sweeney interview will drop for our patrons. And then it will go wide Monday, probably like 8 a.m. Central Time or something like that. Or maybe even earlier. I don't know. Probably earlier. Just do like 6 a.m. Central Time so everyone has it for their drive to work or whatever they need.
And if you're not sure how to get to all these places, just go straight to the website.
SmashingHeadsPodcast.com has links to iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, Patreon, I said YouTube, Podbean, how to get in touch with us, has a contact form, has a player built into the website so you can stream the stuff right there if you want, has a list of all of our patrons who support the show on the website. Again, we try to make it an all-in-one place, so if you forget anything, SmashingHeadsPodcast.com.
Do we want to mention stickers?
I was gonna say, we if you're part of our free agents or bloodlines crew on Patreon, you get a sticker as part of just being part of the support group that we kind of have. And so now that we actually got paid from Patreon, because we kind of gave the first month away for free, I ordered the stickers. They should be in hopefully next week sometime. And then those go out automatically if you become a patron of Bloodlines or Free Agents. And then we'll probably have some extras for sale, just for like $3, something like that, $3 shipped. so that way we can cover all of our costs of the stickers and get them shipped out. But they're just kind of our logo and smashingheadspodcast.com. Just some quick promo stuff.
I gotta say, some of the better looking stickers out there.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the proof. We just haven't seen the final version yet because they're not in. But again, I ordered a bunch extra, so that way, you know, if people wanted them that weren't part of the Patreon group, that's still kind of a way to support us. So again, we're looking forward to next week. Hannah will be back. The Frank interview Hannah's involved with. Again, we're kind of in and out because she's just feeling a little bit under the weather. But until next week, we'll see you guys later.
Have a good night, everyone.